Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Warncke, and I am the Director of SEO at Omnizant. And we are one of the top digital marketing agencies for lawyers and for law firms in the United States. And so today's presentation is going to be about Google Business Places. So allow me to share my screen here and we'll get started. All right, so everyone should be able to see my screen now. So today we're going to be talking about the best practices for improving your site's rankings and visibility in Google's local map pack. So let's get started. My name is Eric Warnicke, and like I mentioned, I'm the Director of SEO at Omnizant, and I have been building and optimizing websites for over 15 years. Currently, I manage the optimization strategies for a little over 100 different law firms, and I reside in Raleigh, North Carolina. And like most of you, I use Google every single day to be able to find businesses around me, as well as services, things like plumbers, restaurants, things like that. And so Google Maps is a huge part of my life. And so I'm going to teach you guys everything that I know about it today. So let's get started with what is Google Business Places? Well, it's a free service that Google provides that allows you to show your business information to over 1 billion potential Google users. You can access it by going to business.google.com. And this is a service that everybody knows about. It's included in Google's GPS service, Google Maps as well. And it's a very ubiquitous part of our life. So, some statistics there are 336 million Americans today and 313 million of them use the internet to find local businesses, which counts to 93% of all people in the United States. Of those people, 270 million of them use Google, which is 4 out of 5 people. And 42% of local searches involve clicks on the Google Map Pack, which is also known as Google Business Places. And worldwide, there are over 1 billion people that use Google Maps every month. So this right here is an example of what that Google Map Pack looks like. So you'll notice in this screenshot here, I did a search for the keyword estate lawyers near me, just as an example. And I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. So you'll see here in this little map right here, we've got all these little red marks here that represent different businesses that, fit in that category of estate lawyers. And that little blue dot right there is where I was when I did this search at that time. And so Google's map tries to show me the businesses that are geographically close to me so that I can make a decision about which one I want. And so as we scroll down here and we look, we can see that the first thing that we see underneath this map and the pins is a sponsored listing. This is called a Google Ads local search ad. And that always appears above the 3 regular organic local listings. And so you'll usually see 3 to 4 of them here. And then below that, you have this little gray button that says More Businesses. And that's the button that you can click on to be able to view all of the businesses near you that fit into that category that you searched for. So you always obviously want to be one of the 3 there that people can see without having to click on that button or having a sponsored listing to appear above those guys. That's where you want to be. If you're not in that 3 or 4 right there, you basically don't exist. Continuing on, the other elements of a SERP. So what's a SERP? Well, it stands for Search Engine Results Page. So anytime that you do a search in Google and you hit enter, the information that you see on that page is the SERP, the Search Engine Results Page. So when we do any kind of search, like the one I mentioned before, estate lawyers near me, sometimes the very first thing that you'll see is a sponsored listing that looks like this. You'll see a photograph of the person, the name of their business, this little check mark that says Google screened, and then the number of ratings that they have and the review scores. You can even see things like how many years they've been in business, when they're going to be open. And if you were to click on one of these ads right here, it would just dial straight to the business. And so this is called a local service ad. And Google makes a lot of money off of these type of ads, local service ads, which is why Google chooses to put them at the very, very top of the SERP. So we can see here I wrote, Google really wants you to click on local service ads. Moving on, the elements of a SERP continued. So right below those local service ads, you'll see just the regular Google ads, and they look like this. It'll say sponsored. Sometimes you'll see a picture, you know what I mean, but you'll see the title and the copy of the advertisements. Sometimes you'll see links to different pages on the site within the ad. But this is what you can think of as traditional PPC or traditional paid media. So you pay a certain amount of money to Google to appear in this spot, and then when they click on it, that's what actually charges you, and that's why they call it pay per click. So appearing there doesn't really cost you anything, but when people click on your ad, that's when Google charges you money. Continuing on, below those advertisements, the local service ads, and then the regular PPC ads, that's where you'll see the local path. And that's still very high up on the SERP, and a lot of people are clicking on this. And so it's very important for you to be optimized and to appear to this local path. And so, as you can see, the advertisements, the things that makes Google the most money appear at the top of the SERP. And then the free things like the organic listings, like these regular Google Maps listings are much lower because they don't make Google any money. Now, continuing on even further, finally, at the very bottom of the SERP, we have what are regular listings, what you might call just the traditional Google results, the things that you optimize SEO for. And so these are going to be below that local service ads, the regular PPC ads, and your map path. However, it's still important that you optimize for regular SEO for these regular organic listings because the number one result has an average click-through rate of 27.6%. So there are certain people that refuse to click on paid ads and will only click on the regular ads in Google. And so you've got to optimize for all of those things. So let's continue on now that we know what a SERP is and how it's laid out. How can you actually rank better in the Google Map path? Well, the first thing you need to do is make sure that your business is actually set up and live on Google Maps. So as you do that, the first thing that you'll do is go to business.google.com and you'll click on the button to add my business. And you'll type in the basic information about your business, like you can see over on the screenshot here on the right. You'll put in what's the name of my business, what are the business categories that we serve, what's my contact information, my website, what are the photos for my business, what service areas do we have, all these kinds of basic information that you'd want people to know about you. You would go ahead and do that, set that all up. And at the very end of the process of entering in that information during the sign up process, Google will ask you to verify your business. And there are several different methods that Google gives you for this verification. The most common one and the easiest one is just Google will have an auto dialer dial the phone number that you set up for your business, and there will be like a verification code, like a 6-digit PIN that they'll say over the phone that you'll have to type in to prove that you own the business. That right there is the fastest and easiest way to get your business verified. However, sometimes they don't give you that option, and they actually will mail you a postcard in the mail to your business address that has that same like code on it, and you'll have to wait, like 1 or 2 weeks for this postcard to arrive in the mail for you to type in the number. That's really almost the worst way that Google can get you to verify your business. It's not good having to wait that long, and I'm glad that that's not as common as it was in the past. But the third way that Google makes you verify is actually to get on a video call, just like you guys are watching. You'll actually call Google on a video call and have to talk to a representative at Google and like show them, that this is the business, this is the signage outside my business, I'm the owner. And a lot of times, you know, that will happen if like one verification method fails, and you'll have to use that as like a backup method. So keep that in mind. Hopefully you'll get the easiest method for verification, but you might even have to wait for a postcard or talk to Google through a video call to prove that you own the business if you run into any issues with verification. So that's step number one, is actually appearing in the local path, right? So after that's done, the next thing you need to do is to make sure that your account has a verified status. So sometimes Google removes businesses from their network if another profile already exists, or if they think that you've got violated their guidelines in some way. And so you can learn more about those guidelines from that link right there. You can pause this video and just kind of type that in and see what they have to say. But the guidelines are very simple. Making sure that you actually own the business, that it's a real business, that if customers are supposed to visit you at your location, that you have your address in there and that it's the right address. So very basic stuff. But you can see over in this screenshot here, you want to see verified like this. Sometimes though you'll see duplicate, which means that another business with the same name and address as yours was already out there and you're creating a new one. And so they'll say, well, this one's already here, and so we're not sure which one's the right one. And so at that point, you'd have to deal with either merging them or getting one of them to be removed from Google so that your new one can stay or the old one can stay. And then finally, this one at the bottom, verification required. Sometimes even after you're verified, Google will just strip your verification away and make you do it again. Like I mentioned, they'll have to call you on a video call to make sure that you really own the business. Sometimes that happens. And so just keep an eye out on the status of your business and make sure that you're always blue and verified with a check mark like that. Continuing on, how can you rank better? You have to make sure that every field is filled out 100%. Inside Google My Business, or what they call Google Business Profiles now, there's a lot of different optional fields that you can fill out. And so I took a screenshot over here on the right. Does your business identified as Asian owned? What month and year did you guys open? Do you have handicapped accessible parking? There's a lot of questions that they ask, and filling those out 100% can mean the difference, between your business appearing at the top versus another business. So it's really important to get all those filled out. Make sure that you check that regularly to see if Google puts any new questions in there. They're always updating this and changing this, so you've got to stay on top of it. Number four, well, you need to make sure that you update Google Business Places anytime that there's a change to your business. So let's say that like your office hours change, or you're offering a new service or a new product. You change your website URL, you like hire new employees, you take new photos or something like that. Anytime there's a big change like that and people need to know about it, you need to update your Google Business profile. So you can see this little screenshot right here. If I clicked on the button to add a new product, they'd ask you to upload a picture. What's the name of it? What's the category for the product? What's the description? What's the website URL where people can go to be able to look at information or buy it? How much does it cost? There's a lot of different things that you can do inside these Google Business Profiles as far as telling people exactly what you do, and having that filled out in here as well as on your website is really important. All right. The next thing that you can do is, well, use as many options available to you as possible. So once you set up this Google Business Profile, you're going to have 13 options that are available to you, and it looks exactly like this screenshot here. So the ability to edit your profile, read reviews. There's actually an option to text message customers, which is optional. Add new photos, view the statistics for how well your business profile is doing. There's a button for setting up advertisements like those local service ads or that ad at the top of the local pack that we looked at earlier. There's also the ability to add new products, add new services, or edit existing ones. There's even an option right there to set up a link directly to, like, let's say you have a specific booking service, like a ZocDoc type of thing or something like that. You can link straight to that from your Google Business Profile as well. There's also the option to see your call logs, to see who called you at what time and how long the call was, that kind of stuff. There's also a question and answer section inside your Google Business Profile. So you can go in there and see if anybody's been asking you any questions and answer them. And then there's an option to add an update. So let's say that there's something important going on. Maybe you have an event going on or some kind of sale or promotion. You can go ahead and put it right in there. You can even put new blogs in there and kind of syndicate them so people can know what kind of stuff you guys are writing about with your blog. And then finally, there's even an option to ask for reviews. So if you click on that, it'll give you a link that you can send to a customer that they can click on, which takes them straight to your Google profile to leave a review. It's a really helpful way to get more reviews for your business. So moving on, we're going to talk about a couple of the most important options that we just looked at of these 13 here. Not all of them, but just the most important ones. So we're going to start with that first one, to edit your profile. So that option lets you set the basic details about your business, like the category and description. And it's important to make sure that you have all the business categories that are applicable to you. And so you can even pause here at the video and go to this link right here, this Dalton Luca blog. This guy's extracted every category from the Google Business Profiles and put it on his blog, which is pretty useful because there's actually like several thousand of them. And it's kind of difficult to be able to go all through them because it's not just in a list, it's like a search kind of thing you have to do. So it's quite difficult within Google Business Profile to know every business category that you are applicable for. So seeing them all in a nice list like that is really useful. But in this example here, in this screenshot, you can see that this guy was an insurance agent, insurance agency, sorry, a commercial agent, an insurance broker, an insurance company. All of these different categories right here are available. and you've got to have all of them right here to make sure that it's going to be served up to every possible keyword search that people might have that your business might show up for. So really important to pick all of the business categories, not just one of them. You know what I mean? All right, continuing on, reading reviews. So this option lets you see reviews that have been left on your profile and lets you respond to them. And Google does like it when you respond to customer reviews. However, some state bar associations don't allow you to respond to customer reviews on your business on Google or in other places. So you should check with your bar association and check on the ethics of that for your state before doing this. But once you get that checked out, and if it is all right for you to do that, I think it's a good idea to just say, thank you so much. We really appreciate that because that's something that Google likes to see. Another thing worth noting is if a false or abusive review is left, you can actually flag them for removal by Google for violating the terms of their service. And we're going to get into that in just a couple minutes. Next, we have this messages option. So this is optional, but it lets potential customers text message you either through like your cell phone or your desktop on a live chat application. And you can even customize the auto response that people get immediately before you can get on there and like respond to them personally. And so this engagement, the engagement's pretty low for this, and not a lot of businesses are utilizing it. However, for some types of businesses, this is useful. Some people don't really want to talk on the phone or don't want to fill out a contact form, and they like this text message thing. So it might be worth experimenting with to see how it goes for you. It's free, and if you have the ability to respond to people, it can be a great way to kind of get some quick information to people to see, if they would get through the pipeline of becoming a customer. Some people prefer this, but like I said, it's been hit and miss with some of the clients that I have. So just wanted to mention that messages might be worth experimenting with. Next is the performance tab. So this right here just gives you data about how many people are finding your business through Google Maps, how many people are calling you, visiting your website, pulling up driving directions on GPS to go to your office, using that messaging service that we just talked about. So you can click on this and see all that data right there and select the time period. It's pretty useful to just know how important your Google Business Profile is for the success of your business. Next is the calls option. So just like it sounds, this option shows you what phone numbers have called you through Google Business Places. If the phone was answered, how long the call was. It can even let you call them back if you wanted to. But it's worth noting that Google currently only saves 45 days worth of this history. And so if you want to keep this forever, you've got to extract this every 30, 45 days, or else it will be lost forever. So that's important as well. Next is this add update button. So this option lets you show promotions and offers, sales, events, press releases, general news, that kind of stuff. And this is another important way to signal activity to Google on your Google Business Profile. So take a look at the screenshot here on the bottom left. When you click on that button, it says, well, you can either add an update, add an offer, or add an event. And then you would click on that and fill out the details, and your Google Business Profile to the public would change and look something like this screenshot over here at the top right. The date of the event, the name of the event, and then if they click on it, they can learn more about it, sign up and register. That's a really great way to get some more engagement from people by getting them to see it straight from the Google search page instead of having to go to your website where they might miss it. Next is the ask for reviews button. So we talked about this earlier. It's really important that you get a lot of really good reviews to your business because that can be the difference between you being number one in that local pack versus somebody else. So when you click on that button, it will give you a link like here at the bottom. You can copy that link and then email it, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever communication method that you use with customers, you can give it to them and say, hey, a great time to do that is maybe if you just won a case for somebody, right? Send them that link and say, hey, we'd appreciate it if you would, leave your review and your thoughts for our business. They click on it and they see something like this at the top right. They put in the number of stars that they feel and then write their reviews, add photos, and click post. Goes straight to your Google Business Profile and helps you. People that utilize this Ask for Reviews service definitely rank higher in the local pack than people that don't. And so finally, how can you rank better in the Google Map pack? Well, like we just mentioned, get more reviews. So this is the number one thing in Google Business Places is getting good reviews, getting lots of reviews. And so there are even services like grade.us that offer software solutions that make it even easier to request and manage reviews that you get. Omnizant also has a service that does that, that allows you to request reviews from people. Ours is called Reviewability. And so there's a lot of different tools that you can use to help you to do that. You can even do something like put a sign just on the desk at your work and say, if you like us, leave us a review. And put a sticker on your door. All that stuff is helpful. All right. So getting into the next thing, one of the most common questions that we get asked is, what if I don't have a real office, right? Or what if I don't want people to come to my office? What if my office is like my house, or what if it's just like a virtual office? I get mail there, I get phone numbers there, right? But I really can't have customers go there. Well, that's not a problem at all. That's just called a satellite office. So if that's the case for you, what you do is when you're creating the profile initially, one of the first questions that you're going to get asked is, do you want to add a location that customers can visit like a store or office? And so if you click no for that, what it will do is signal to Google that you will have a service area business instead of just a brick and mortar type of business. And so it will ask you, where do you serve your customers? And you can click inside this field here and type in anywhere that you would go to your customers. So let's say it's all of New York State, right? Maybe it's all of New York and all of Florida. Maybe it's the entire United States that's your service area. Go ahead and type in all of the service areas for your business and then click next. And when you're done, what will happen is your Google Business Profile will look something like this. So I took this Kohler Walk and Bath Google Business Profile just as an example, but they have a service area for the entire United States. And so you can see this little red zone here covering the entire United States, going all the way up to Alaska and all the way down to Hawaii there. And so that right there indicates that what their service area is the whole USA. And then, of course, the address for their office is nowhere to be found below. So that's totally fine if you have a virtual office. Just set it up like that and you'll be fine. All right, so next question is, what can go wrong with a Google Business Profile? So the first thing worth mentioning is unknown people trying to claim your listings. So one potentially problematic aspect of Google Business Places is that anyone can actually request to become a manager or an owner of any business. And so when this occurs, an email is sent to the current owner of that profile asking for permission. And so if that occurs and you don't recognize the person that's requesting the access, you should always click this blue button right here to respond and deny the request. Because if you do nothing, there's actually a chance after 7 days that Google could allow that unknown person to claim that listing. And so it's really important that you respond to any ownership requests like that quickly and either say no to them if you don't know who the person is, or approve it, if it's somebody that you want to be managing your business, right? All right, continuing on, what else can go wrong? Well, unwanted changes to your business information. So another big problem that can and often does happen with Google Business Places is because Google really doesn't trust owners to keep their business information up to date on the GBP platform. Google allows anyone to suggest edits to your Google Business Profile, and sometimes they actually make changes themselves. And so sometimes these changes will be sent to you for review and approval, but sometimes Google literally just applies that change without telling you anything, even if the information is not accurate. And so it's really important that you frequently check the business information in there and check these change requests to make sure that that the information is correct and that you agree with it and that you know that it's happening. So this screenshot right here is one example that I found out in the wild. We previously had a website set up, so HTTP something something something, and you could see your website was updated by Google. They just simply deleted it. And the only thing I could do was click this button for accept. I can't reject it. And then what I had to do was type it in again. And so it's annoying, but it's a fact of the matter is you've got to keep on top of this and make sure that the information is up to date. You've got to do that all the time. I would say at least once a month, twice a month, you should be checking that. All right, what else can go wrong? Well, definitely negative reviews can go wrong. So reviews are extremely important to Google, and so you should always be fighting to have nothing but positive reviews. But sometimes a bad review is left that isn't legitimate, that isn't a true reflection of how you're running the business. And so if that's the case, you can click on these three dots to the right of the review, and there's a drop down that will appear, and you can click on this second option that says report review. And so when you do that, Google's going to give you a list of reasons why you think that that review violated their guidelines. And so that can include off topic, it's spam, it's a conflict of interest, there's profanity, there's bullying or harassment, it's discrimination or hate speech, or it contains personal doxing kind of information. And so you click one of these right here and then send a report. And what happens is that report actually gets sent to a human, and they can either choose to accept it for what you said and remove the review, or deny your request and keep it up. However, it's worth noting that you can do this multiple times. And so if person one refuses to take down a review that you know is a bunch of garbage, you can try again, and maybe the second person will do it. And if you keep trying, you will definitely eventually have that review removed. So keep that in mind. Just keep flagging stuff until a bad review is removed. All right, finally, what also can go wrong? Well, losing access to your Google Business Places. So if you ever lose access to your Google Business profile, you can go to business.google.com/ad and search for your business name. And so if your business name appears in the search results, you can click on the name of your business and proceed to the next step. And then what you can do is click on this blue Manage Now button when you see this screenshot right here. And then from there, Google will make you go through that same verification process that you originally did by either calling the phone number, getting a postcard, or doing a video call. And when you do that, what will happen is sometimes Google will send an email to whoever the current owner is to ask for permission, just like we saw earlier on the previous slide. But sometimes they just simply add you immediately. And so if you do know who the current owner of the business profile is, it's obviously better to reach out to them and work with them on it. But if your request is unsuccessful to manage your business, you can actually appeal to Google, and that's usually successful. And so that appeal process will have the video call like we talked about. And so that right there is the entire presentation for today. And so if anybody in the audience has any questions, I'll take those now. So let me just peek over there and see what we've got. Here we go. So how frequently do you recommend adding updates to a Google Places profile or requesting reviews? Is there a best practice? So I would say that as far as the updates, you really should only be updating when you have something to say. When you do have an event going on, a promotion going on, a new blog that's going on, you should be publishing those. But you shouldn't be doing it, every single day if you have nothing to say, because that kind of gets into the realm of spam. But if there's something going on, like every single week at your business that's important, definitely you should be updating every week. If it's a slower pace, you know what I mean? If you guys are working on like class action stuff and you don't have a lot of updates every single day, maybe an update every 3 months, every 6 months is okay. It all just depends on the pace of your business. And so don't feel that, any guidelines are a one size fits all. It really depends on your business. And as far as requesting reviews, I would say that it looks suspicious in Google's eyes if you suddenly get like 100 new reviews in one day. Google's going to be like, what the, you know what I mean? And so you should be trying to disperse these as, happy customer experiences come along. If you're like an ice cream shop, that gets 500 customers a day, right? Maybe you will be getting dozens of reviews every single day, and that's okay. But just try to make sure that it's a steady flow. If you've been getting kind of one review a week, try to keep that same pace. Don't suddenly go from like one review a week to like 30 reviews a week. It looks a little suspect in Google's eyes. So it kind of depends on how many you've been getting. But obviously, everybody wants to ramp up and get more. So just try to get to ramp things up a little bit slowly, I'd say, with the reviews. Don't try to hit every past customer you've had for the last 10 years in one day with a review. Maybe hit 20 of them in a week or something, and then 20 the next week, until you get to your historical log of customers if you want to do it that way. But just, everything should be tailored to how fast your business is operating, right? Next question here. I have a Google My Business listing. Is that the same thing as Google Business Places and Google Maps? What's the difference? Yeah, so I may have said that accidentally earlier in the presentation, Google My Business. That was actually the original name of the program that we currently call Google Business Profiles. So Google has this habit of constantly renaming everything. I don't know why. I liked the name Google My Business, but apparently Google didn't. And so at some point they decided to call it Google Business Profiles. Is it a better name? Does it make more sense? I don't think so, to be honest with you, but they just randomly changed it for some reason. I'm not sure why. Next question. I need more help troubleshooting a problem that I'm having. Can Omniscient help? Who should I contact? Well, yeah, definitely we can help you. If you have a problem with your business not being verified, with people trying to, put false information on your profile, all those things that we mentioned that can go wrong, we definitely can help you with that and give you some information to be able to stay on top of that and try to stop those kinds of issues. What you can do is what it says right here on the screen. Email us at support@omniscient.com and just say, hey, I saw Eric's presentation about Google Business Profiles. I'm having this problem. Here's some of the details, right? Can we talk about it? Of course, we'll talk with you and help you out with it. So that's all the questions that I have right now, and that's all the time that we have. And so I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Definitely, if you have any other questions, send an email to support@omniscient.com. We'll be happy to help you. My name is Eric, and it's been a great pleasure to talk with everybody today and to share everything that I know about Google Business Profiles. And we'll see you guys at the next webinar. Have a great day, everyone.